前，欧洲人尚未发现新大陆，辽阔的北美大地是印第安原住民安身立命之所。百年参天大树用来盖屋、做家具、制衣，支撑族裔部落生命。原住民称 Tree of Life 生命之树。
We're in a rainforest on the south coast of the Pacific in British Columbia, so southern Canada. This rainforest is dominated by Douglas fir, but there's also some hemlock and cedar in this forest.
百年森林始于足下，温带针叶林不开花不结果，取而代之挂在树上的球果，身负繁衍，重责大任，等待时机落下，散播种子，铺展下一世代生命。树虽沉默，但只要懂得看，会发现浑身充满智慧。
So the bark is very thick. It protects the tree against fire when there's fire. Yeah, it's one of the big traits of Doug fir is this orangey brown thick bark.
Suzanne Simard 是加拿大不列颠哥伦比亚大学森林系教授，他看待树木的视角很特别，认为它们不只直挺挺站着，还跟动物、人一样会社交、相互沟通。颠覆性看待森林的方式虽曾受主流学术界质疑，但它并非无凭无据。
Here we have some moss that's on the top, and there's some twigs, and I'm just going to dig down to where I think the mycorrhizal fungi will be.
大自然给的线索在地底。
So I'm going to, here's some moss, and I'm pulling back a little bit, and here you can see these threads already.
拉开地表，细微繁复的白色线条紧密交织，犹如人类的神经网络。这张由菌根结成的密网，就是树与树间传递讯息及营养的高速网络。
You can see the little threads, they're fungal threads mixed in with the organic matter or the forest floor, and the fungal threads are exploring that forest floor and picking up the nutrients and the water that's soaked into the forest floor.
研究森林生态长达40年，苏曾发现，原来树旁经常长蕈菇不是没有原因，它们是命运共同体。菌根吸收土壤里的水及矿物质后，会将营养经由树根、树干一路输送到树叶，好让树能进行光合作用，产生葡萄糖。多余养分则回流输送，再进到地底，不只孕育菌菇长大，还能透过菌根网路将营养传送到邻近较瘦小、衰弱的树，协助它们成长茁壮。
Gorgeous. You see how big there's some thick ones,
Wow.
and the fine ones, they all have slightly different roles in the ecosystem. Some are good at transporting long distances and some small distances.
只是营养能量要能均匀输送到森林生态的各角落，每隔一段区域便需要强而有力的大树生产供应养分。这关键能量站 ，Susan 称之为母树 （Mother Tree）。
Our big mother tree is right there. You can see how taller it is. The mother trees are just the biggest, tallest trees and oldest trees in the forest. When it's tall, its crown, its leaves are up above the rest of the canopy, so it's really big, and the photosynthesis, that's the making of sugars by the crown, flows down the stem into the roots, and the roots are vast. And they have many points of contact with the other trees. And so a lot of that energy then can flow through the ecosystem and drive the cycles of the forest.
一座森林可以有很多的母树，概念有点像是人类的家庭，有妈妈，也有爸爸、叔叔、伯伯、阿姨，这些长辈们共同合作，提供养分给周围的树木生长。大树带小树，维系森林生态永续不朽。若有树木遭遇危机，如虫害，也能透过树联网向其他树木通风报信，让它们能事先产生激素抵御。
We use a variety of techniques to try to understand that. One is to use isotopic tracers, where we will label a tree by getting it to photosynthesize and take up carbon-13 or carbon-14 and then trace where those isotopes go using microscopes that they shared in common different mycorrhizal fungal species. And so I hypothesized that more carbon would move between those two species, Douglas fir and paper birch, than to a cedar tree, which I planted nearby, which does not form the same mycorrhizal fungi.
用科学方法找出森林充满灵性的互动能量，独特观察方式甚至启发电影《阿凡达》，创造出主宰潘多拉星球的灵魂之树。
The movie crew ever talk to you about
Not
the
before,
theory?
not really, not before. But so when they made the movie Avatar, I got a phone call. I got this phone call in my office at the University of British Columbia from someone I since don't remember who they were, but they phoned me up and they said, "Do you know that the Avatar movie, the idea of connection among the Na'vi people with the soul of trees, comes from the concepts you've been publishing about mycorrhizal networks?" And I said, "No, I didn't know that."
埋首研究，苏赞浑然不知，他的母树理论已透过电影与全世界产生共鸣。
When I watched the movie, I could see that the Tree of Souls was connected to all the creatures in the ecosystem. I knew that he got the concept, very, very nicely, that ecosystems are connected. And he also got the concept that people are connected to forests, that we thrive as well among forests. This is a really cool little cave. It's perfect for when I was a kid. I would find places like this to hide from my brother and sister and hide.
从小在林木间穿梭长大，森林对 Susan 来说不止新奇，还很美味。
It's nice and fine, and then,
So it's edible?
barely. It's a bit gritty.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah. Different kinds of forests taste differently.
It's very natural.
It is very natural.
自然的味道。
Yeah. It's like eating organic food.
Yeah, really. 真的很像吃有机食物哎，然后味道有一点，就蛮土味的，可是就是很自然的味道。
就是吃土啊。
Will you get diarrhea?
You should be okay. Yeah.
Okay.
If you ate a lot of it, you might get diarrhea.
Little is okay.
But you're going to be all right.
Susan 的家族世代以伐木为生，但早期受限技术，工人砍的树有限，森林受创不深，能自行更新再生。但如今工业发林，经常不留余地，大树小树砍光光，母树倒下，邻近生态也跟着面临浩劫。
A big tree, an adult tree, mature tree, produces cones with seeds in them. And those seeds that were on that tree, before it was cut, will disperse. And the seedlings that come up from those seeds are well adapted to that local environment. It's called local adaptation. If you cut that tree down, those seeds are no longer available to reforest. And so commonly people will come in and plant new seedlings that are and if those seedlings are not adapted to that place climatically or to the soils, they won't grow very well.
人类经济发展需要，不可能不砍树，但究竟树要怎么砍，才能将自然生态冲击降到最小？
21.5, no, 12.
2016年 ，Susan 与研究团队开始了一项实验，他们将森林分区砍伐。第一种赶尽杀绝，不留一棵树；第二种1公顷林地只留下25棵孤零零母树；第三种保留母树也保留小树，让菌根网络能正常运作；第四种则不只保留家庭，也保留社区，让各个母树群不只能对内照顾小树，还能跟其他树群交流。
We found is that when you leave at least some of these old trees behind, you don't cut them all down, that it actually helps the natural regeneration of the forest because seed is provided and a bit of shelter for those seedlings.
深幽密林有千年神木、百年巨树，它们就像定锚，牢牢拉住各树群，支撑它们运作发展。当森林蓬勃了，吸碳量自然大增，地球也不会越来越热。
how cutting those trees affects those storage pools. And what we found is that you need to leave at least 60% of the old trees behind in our forests, especially in the more stressed forests, if they're really cold or really hot and dry, to leave more trees behind to provide protection for those carbon pools, to continue to draw down CO2 from the environment.
的一切1万年来自有运行定律，唯有母亲屹立不摇，潘朵拉星球才能繁荣发展，生生不息。